Hey, I hope everybody had a great long weekend and extra day there. Having Labor Day off, and now it's back to the grind on Tuesday. Last week, I told you that when we cut this video that we still didn't have a verdict. That case went into Thursday. So a bunch of young men were convicted of manslaughter as a lesser included of murder. That was Nigeria Great, Dejan Great, and another young man had already been convicted. His name was Todd Fry. So I couldn't tell you a lot about it, and I'm limited in what I can say here just by time. But Nigeria Great, who was 22, Dejan Great, who was 20, Todd Fry, who was 19, and Jeremiah Dicker, who was 20. Those four guys, over the Memorial Day weekend 2022, decided that they were going to rob a young man from New Jersey. His name was Khalid Khan. Now, Khalid Khan looks like he was selling dope at the Sun House. And we had the video of the Sun House and several of the Great Gang to come up and speak to him. Then we had the phones which showed those four left together, went to a very nondescript area, very few houses, and then they sent a drop ping back to Khan, basically saying, meet here. So when Khan drove up, there was a shootout. Now here's how it happened. One of the Great brothers got in the back seat behind Khan in his car, got right behind him in the back seat, back driver's side seat. The young man Dicker got in the front passenger seat beside Khan, and Nigeria Great stood at the back of the car. So if the car is like this, Khan is up here, one of the Great boys is here, one of them's outside of the car here, and Dicker is sitting here. Obviously, it's a robbery. They all pull guns. The dope is removed from the front seat to the back seat, but they never got away with the dope. Khan started firing back. They started firing at Khan. It appears as though Nigeria Great shot through the vehicle from the outside to in and hit his cousin, who was Jeremiah Dicker. But they all hit Khalid Khan. Khalid Khan is found in the front seat of his car, murdered, holes all throughout the car. He also shot, I think, 16, 17 times. Dicker was hit. He ran beside one of the houses and died. Dejan Great in the back seat of the car was hit. He ended up at a fire station, and he was treated for his wounds. And then when all of the cellular data and all of the videotape and all of that came in, it made a fairly decent case as to what had happened. It was an armed robbery that turned into a murder. Now, the jury found all the Great brothers guilty of manslaughter as opposed to murder. Now, how did they do that? Murder is the killing of another with malice aforethought. The lesser included of that, the lesser charge is manslaughter, which carries up to 30 years. And that is the killing another without malice. In other words, I'm so angry that I just reacted. Now, there's no real anger, there's no real fight. It was a robbery. But a lot of times, what we see is that if both parties are engaged in illegal activity, then that puts you in a much worse spot as far as going in front of a jury. And there is no doubt in my mind, and no doubt in most people's mind, that simply selling marijuana you shouldn't get the death penalty for. But it does put you in a bad way, and there's a risk involved. And I've said it at least 1,000 times. If you are in Myrtle Beach, or if you're in Longs, or if you're in Conway, and you are going to the movie theater, pushing a baby stroller and eating popcorn, nobody's going to mess with you. If you are selling or buying dope at your house, your life expectancy is going to go down, because it means you're going to be dealing with unscrupulous people. And Mr. Kahn, a native of New Jersey, very young man, lost his life. Jeremiah Dicker, a co-defendant in this case, lost his life, but it was all over a drug robbery. And now the Great brothers are pulling 30 years for their part in this crime. Great is, Nasiriya Great is 22. He'll be close to 50 when he gets out. He'll be my age. Dejon Great, he's 20. He's going to be about right under my age when he gets out. So a lot of lives lost. There is a young man that didn't have anything to do with the shooting, but he was just as responsible under hand of one, hand of all. His name is Todd Allen Fry. We allowed him to plea as being the driver of the vehicle. He pled early, and he got 10 years, but he never fired any shots at any of these people. The case took into 2 weeks, took a lot of twists and turns. It was a case where there were federal witnesses and state witnesses, and some of them got to testify, and there was a lot of rulings that came down because state and federal mixed. Ultimately, I believe it should have been murder, but I respect the jury, and I really, really understand where they're coming from. If you put yourself in a bad spot by selling dope, or buying dope, or getting involved with unscrupulous people, the juries have a way of discounting what goes on in the aftermath. And in this case, it was manslaughter, but it was still 30 years. It was a long, drawn-out trial, but we're happy with the results. And we're going to start again today. So there's no rest for the weary. Labor Day's over, summer's over, and now we're right back into court. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Monday.